Coming up in the Michigan Football Report, we're going to talk a little bit of recruiting. Going to also talk about what to expect from Michigan Stadium in 2021. And is there a pause in Michigan football's 2021 spring practice? I've got all those stories and more coming up. But before we do, we are this close to 13,000 subscribers. So if you watched the show before and you enjoy what you see, you don't like a bunch of fluff and a bunch of spin like the other guys, straight facts coming from the Michigan Football Report, make sure to subscribe. If it's your first time, watch the video, then make a decision at the end. If you like it, give us a subscribe. If you don't, just block the channel forever, okay? I'm fine with those kind of results. It's the Michigan Football Report from Chat Sports coming up right now. Nicholas Singleton, the number 5 running back in America in the 2022 recruiting class, has named Michigan a finalist or a top 9 if you want to consider the top 9 a finalist. He's the number 98 overall recruit in this upcoming senior class, the kids that are, in March of their junior year of high school, but this is the focus. The seniors have already all committed and such, and so the number 98 overall recruit names his top 9, and Michigan's in it. He's from the state of Pennsylvania, from Reading, Pennsylvania, but from what I've been able to understand, people I talk to, it is a Penn State-Wisconsin battle, and I don't think when all comes down to it that Michigan is going to be part of his plan. So he put out this tweet. We'll toss it up on screen here. Basically a pretty cool photo, doing one of these, the top 9 behind him, and he basically just drops his top 9, tags a bunch of schools, the 9 teams that he decided to include in his top 9, Michigan being one of them, but hate to break it to you, despite what all the blog boys around Ann Arbor are going to tell you, don't expect Michigan to land this player, Nicholas Singleton, top 20 or top 5 player top 5 running back in this 2022 class, top 100 player overall. From what it sounds like to me, this is going to be a Penn State, his home state team, and Wisconsin, which certainly, in a lot of people's way, up there with maybe Ohio State, Alabama, and some others, could be considered running back university over the past 25 years or so in college football. So if it doesn't end up in Michigan, don't freak out. It's not a bad recruiting job by anybody, but Michigan's putting their best on it. New running backs coach Mike Hart is recruiting Nick Singleton. And if Mike Hart's going to make an impact and certainly pull in more talent or, I guess, higher level talent than Michigan has produced, remember, Michigan has had a running back drafted in like 15 seasons. It's borderline crazy to think about that. It's been since Mike Hart himself in the 2008 draft since Michigan has had a running back drafted, since the 2004 draft since they've had a running back drafted in the first round. And so with that, I don't expect them to come to Michigan, but I'm glad that Michigan is continuing with these new coaches, 6 new coaches, to push into new states. Pennsylvania has not been a state that Michigan has recruited well, and go after top-level players, top 100, top 10 players of the position, which I think they've actually lacked in the past couple recruiting classes outside of some last-minute commitments in this past class, and, of course, JJ McCarthy leading the way. So with that being said, you heard me drop the name JJ McCarthy there. I'm going to ask you guys this question before we talk more about this next season and before we talk about the upcoming or what's going on with the spring football and this Michigan football program. Who will be the starting quarterback in 2021? And maybe not the last game. Let's just focus on game 1. Let's focus on the first game of the season. Type JJ below in the comments. Type Cade if you think it's going to be Cade McNamara or Alan Bowman, the new transfer quarterback from Texas Tech, started in 2018 as a true freshman at Texas Tech. He will be in rotation. He should be on campus here in about 2.5 months to compete all summer long into fall camp. So go down and comment below. But I do want to remember, while you're going to comment, make sure you watch to the end of this video. Might have a little surprise for you if you're interested in getting swagged up with Michigan football gear. Next up here, Michigan is planning for fans in Michigan Stadium in the 2021 season. Warde Manuel talked to media late yesterday, but he would not commit to 100% capacity, right? We've heard quite a few teams, most notably today, I heard the Texas Rangers expect to have 100% capacity for their home opener next month, 40,000 people in the new Globe Life Stadium. Big Ten is rumored and expected to allow fans in the stands in this upcoming season, right? So after college basketball season is over in about 4 weeks, it's in a lot of ways, I know baseball and softball are out there, but in a lot of ways that signals the end of the academic calendar that has been without fans for the entire Big Ten. The Big Ten as a total has struggled because of not and losing all the revenue from March Madness last year, and then all the in-stadium and in-arena revenue from college football and college basketball this entire school year. Michigan has racked up $80 million in deficit, I should say, in lost revenue in the past 12 months. They've had to do some layoffs. Coaches had to take, a lot of staffers have had to take salary reductions. And so I think Michigan needs to do whatever possible. President Joe Biden said that every adult in America will be able to have access to the vaccine for coronavirus in the next 2 or 3 months. If we're still at 25 or 50% capacity by September 1st, September 10th, or 12th, that's unacceptable to me. Michigan needs to do everything they can to make sure they're accepting 100% people who want to be at the stadium, be at the game, so there's no more layoffs, and not at a competitive disadvantage. A lot of SEC schools, and I expect many Big Ten schools, will be at 100% capacity and will make that announcement very soon. But I can't wait to get back into a sporting event to Michigan Stadium. Want to know from you guys. Go ahead and type M if this question answers is yes, or type N if it's no. So M, Michigan, if it's yes, N for no. Will you attend a Michigan football game this fall? Go down in the comments, type M for yes, type N for no. I want to remind you one more time here on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. 12,882 subscribers. That's not a huge number. Here at Chat Sports, we've got a channel with 240,000 subscribers. Our Cowboys channel is about 90,000. So 12,000, we're small potatoes on that realm. But the channel for Michigan football with the most subscribers on YouTube is this one. So we're leading at something. Make sure you subscribe. And thank you so much to those of you who have. Last story of the day, and frankly, my juiciest one, and make sure you stick around the rest of the video and listen to this one. So we've got spring practice going on here for Michigan. They started February 22nd, which was the earliest time in the history of the program that Michigan had started spring practice. Jim Harbaugh did not want to get in a situation where this Michigan football team had to cancel or stop spring practice and weren't able to make it up. And think about the scenario. Let's say they had started in mid to late March, and then they had to go on a 2 or 3 week pause. Like Ohio State hasn't started spring practice yet, already on a pause. Jim Harbaugh wanted to avoid that because you've got to get in these spring practices before your school is done for the semester, which for Michigan is coming up here in about 6 weeks. But they're changing so much as a program right now, from offensive philosophy to the defensive coaching staff, pretty much the entire thing. So much change. 2 new defensive co-coordinators, a new co-offensive coordinator, that they're going to pause for what my source tells me is a few weeks. It could be 2 weeks, could be 3. Focus everything on weight training, speed training, things that don't count towards the 15 practices, and allow the players to meet with coaches, meet with their analysts to understand the concepts that they've been working on the field over these past 7 or 8 spring practices. So by the time the end of this week is up, Michigan will take a pause of what I've told for 2 or 3 weeks. They'll have 6 or 7 more practices after that they could get in. And I think by the end of this month, they'll try and space it out and stretch this period out for as long as they can to make sure they're at a competitive advantage as much as they possibly can, headed out of spring into a very vital 2021 season, coming off a 2-4 campaign in an abbreviated coronavirus 2020 campaign. But it's not all gravy around Michigan these days. I know everyone's excited about recruiting and how it ended 21 class. Excited about the hot start in 22 over the past month or so, getting 4 or 5 commitments. The defense is struggling, and the more people I talk to, the more I look at the people who were on the players that were on the defense last year, the ones who left, and what returns. If the redshirt freshman from last year, who didn't really make any impact at all, or the true freshman coming in this 2021 class, don't make a huge outsized impact for their class, Michigan will mightily struggle on defense again in 2021. So don't get your expectations up. Don't believe what they're going to hype up this offseason. All the blog boys, all the radio guys are going to want to sell you a bill of goods that Michigan's turned it around and the players are buying in. I'm hearing it is quite the opposite, at least on the defensive side of the ball. Not necessarily they're not buying in. The talent is just not there yet. Told you I have a little something more for you here on YouTube. We are back with BetUS for March Madness, and your number 1 seed Wolverines will be announced on Sunday that they'll be a number 1 seed. If you get going with BetUS, if you haven't signed up and made your first deposit, chatsports.com/GoBlue. Use that promo code GoBlue. So BetUS is our partner for Sportsbook, for our Sportsbook partner. Make sure you use that URL, though, or it's very difficult to track you down and apply your bonus so we can hit you up with this. If you get signed up and deposit with BetUS before Michigan's first game of the NCAA tournament, You can do it for the Big Ten tournament if you want, and you make a bet on any NCAA basketball game between now and Final Four. Once you do, email us goblue@chatsports.com to redeem. When you do that, we'll confirm your account and we will send you a Michigan football jersey. Again, that's BetUS. Sam, toss it back up on the screen if you can, if you don't mind. Toss it back up. BetUS, chatsports.com/goblue. Promo code is GoBlue. You see the jersey? That's okay, Sam. We'll keep rolling with it. You see the promo code on the screen, GoBlue. 125% deposit bonus. Use our URL. Make sure you use the URL, use the promo code, and then we will send you a Michigan football Jordan brand jersey if you email us, goblue@chatsports.com.